What's up, Fire Fam? My name is KiahOnFire and welcome back to the Last Wish raid guide. Today we're going to be touching on the Riven encounter. This is quite an interesting one. It's one of the hardest ones in the actual raid itself, so pay attention. There's going to be a lot of things to absorb in this one and you're going to need to know a lot of stuff. But when you get used to the habit of it, you might need a few practice runs. You will be absolutely golden. Recommended setups for a hunter, I recommend bottom tree gunslinger with Celestial Nighthawk. It just does so much damage on pop, plus your super will recharge quite quickly with all the orbs being created, and it's just a nice super in general. It will do a lot of damage to her. I've always found it's lovely to have. Or you could be a Night Stalker with Tether, that will help get rid of ads and stuff like that. Warlock, Well of Radiance, that's all I'm going to say. It is bloody useful when it comes to putting it in the third part of the encounter. Titan, Top Tree Sunbreaker, or Code of the Commander Sentinel Shield. For a weapon loadout, primary, medium range weapons such as pulse rifle or auto rifle such as the Tiger Spike. A secondary sniper rifle or an Ikilos/Badlander shotgun. Heavy, Whisper of the Worm or Thunderlord. In my team we found these heavies work best. Whisper of the Worm because you can easily just have infinite ammo on it if you have the correct setup. Thunderlord worked nicely because it had such a large clip. It pretty much melted Riven, no relays required due to the Well of Radiance or Rally Barricades. To start the fight, each Guardian will need to step on the Dreaming City plate. There will be 3 of these each side of the room, Tree area and Crystal area. Remember which plate is yours, since this will be important later on. The fight will start when everybody is standing on a plate. You will drop down and see Riven curled up around a pillar. Once you drop down to the ground, go to your nearest door. So if you're in tree side, your nearest door will be one covered in branches. Run through the room into the next. You want to make sure everyone is in the room pretty quickly because the room will seal shortly after the first Guardian has stepped in it. This applies to both sides, so go in as a team. Once in your room, you'll notice a stage, a black screen and a huge pillar in the middle. And you'll also notice a shelf at the back. One player will want to drop down and use the huge pillar for cover. The other 2 players will want to stay on the back shelf, one near the door, the other on the opposite side. The 2 Guardians on the back shelf will want to watch out for hobgoblins spawning in front of them. Those should be killed pretty quickly since they do a lot of damage. Hobgoblins will spawn when you enter a room, and when a taken captain is present in the room. Shortly after coming in the room, ads will spawn. Bear in mind there'll be a ton of ads in this encounter, and it's wise to stay on top of eliminating them. After eliminating them, 1 or 2 things can happen on your side, and the other team will get the other. Riven will pop her head in and present herself in fire mode or tentacle mode. You can tell which she is by her sounds. And if she's in fire mode, she will shake her 2 bottom flaps open for fire. Or if it's tentacles, of course tentacles are going to come out. Or a taken captain will spawn, aka the Eye of Riven. In this scenario, I have a fire Riven. What we are doing here is waiting for her to blow 3 or 4 rounds of fire and then shooting her in the mouth when it's orange. With enough damage, this will flinch Riven, causing her to open her armor flaps and show you 2 glowing eyes. Take note of which ones are glowing and type them in chat, since the other team will need to know, since you'll pop her head in their room and they will have to shoot those 2 eyeballs. With Tentacle Riven, wait 10 seconds from spawn, or wait until the other team shout out when they've killed their taken captain and picked up their orb to start baiting. To bait, all you need to do is run to her tentacle, wait a few seconds, and then dash to the side. If you dash to the side, you shouldn't get one shot. She will slam her tentacle down, and it will have orange cracks on it. Unload on it until she pops open her flaps, and take note of what glowing eyes you see. It's a good idea to write these eye numbers in chat, because sometimes it's hard to remember with all the stuff going on, and it's generally just a huge help for the other team. To stop confusion happening, you can always write bracket lines so you can see it's a new bracket line, etc, etc. If you don't end up with Riven first in your room, you will have a taken captain spawn. Swiftly kill it and get a teammate to pick up the orb. Another teammate will need to stand on the middle pillar and look through the looking glass to guide the orb holder to the correct symbol to cleanse. To know what you're looking for, the orb holder will need to tell the glass looker what symbol they see. and then the glass looker will look on this chart and tell them which number they will need to go to. For this instance, the symbol I need to cleanse is R4, so I run to that position, I press my grenade key, and I cleanse it. Once you have flinched Riven or shut her eyes and cleansed an orb, you may proceed up the elevator in the back, where you do the whole process again. After you've completed this round, a second elevator will spawn. Wait until everyone is ready to go up, because this is where it gets more challenging. All 6 teammates will be lifted up into the starting room. Here ogres will spawn all around the room, every time Riven appears, 2 will spawn either side of her. Eliminate these ogres quickly and get on with the task of flinching Riven. Take note of what eyes she displays, but don't shoot them yet. She will appear 3 times, record the eyes and take a number. There will be an eye assigned to each player. I found it helped giving teammates a number from 1 to 6. The first player takes the first eye called out, the second takes the second eye, and the third of the third eye is called out, and so on. Now the 4th time she appears, it will be the time to damage her. A well of Radiance should be popped down directly in the middle, facing the last hole she's going to pop out of. The 2 Titan barricades either side to stop the ogres. If you don't have enough Titans, your other option is to kill an ogre and hug the middle pillar, so you don't get shot by the other ogre. Or assign someone to 2 eyes and use one person as an ad clearer, but I don't really recommend this method too highly. You'll want to set this up before she opens her armor flaps. Every second counts here. As soon as she has them open, be ready to fire into her mouth. And you'll get about 10 seconds until she starts getting all shiny, and you want someone to count to 3, and everybody shoots their eye at the same time. If eyes aren't shot within about 2 seconds of the first time being shot, Riven will wipe you. If done correctly, she will retreat, and the remaining ads will need to be cleared. Then you must stand on your platform, just like you did in the start, immediately, otherwise the darkness will kill you. Stand on the 6 platforms and you will now be taken down to shoot as many of her blue sisters as possible. Watch out for Axion darts, those will come out of her spots. But this stage will be a critical damage stage. It will do a lot of damage to her if you pop all those cysts on her. When you fall to the ground, you will be repeating the entire process again until you get to about a quarter of her HP bar, and then she will teleport you into an Ascendance realm. This is where you'll have to climb up platforms, kill phalanxes, and you only really need one person to get through the portal in the end, but ideally you want your whole team to live, because when you get teleported, you will have to do damage to her and you have to get rid of the rest of her HP bar, otherwise rip. After that, the whole team gets teleported back and Riven will show her face again. If you have another well by this point, plop it down and everyone has to give this their all at this point so she dies. She will explode, but you will still have one more part to do, jump into her mouth. You don't have much time for this, you will need to run into her body until you find her heart and shoot it until it pops. Shotguns come in handy here, or just unload the rest of whatever you have on her that does a lot of damage. If done correctly, the heart will pop, and congratulations, that is the Riven encounter completed. So thank you for watching, I love you all and I'll see you in the next one.